The morning rush on Fifth Avenue never slowed down for anyone. Not for the suits racing to their board meetings, not for the tourists fumbling with their phones, and certainly not for Maya Collins, who had been flipping grilled cheese sandwiches since 5 a.m. with a smile she'd practiced until it no longer hurt. Her food truck, Golden Crust, was small, dented on the left side from the time a city bus clipped her mirror on 42nd Street. The menu board had a hand-painted sunflower in the corner that her little sister Lily had drawn 3 years ago right before the accident. Maya kept it there. Some things you don't paint over. She handed a cup of tomato soup to a construction worker and took his crumpled $5 bill without blinking. "You're an angel, Maya," he said. "You say that every Tuesday, Frank," she replied. He laughed. She turned back to the griddle. That was her world, small, honest, and entirely hers. The line that Wednesday stretched longer than usual. A tech conference had taken over the Midtown Hilton 2 blocks down, and suddenly Maya's humble truck was surrounded by people in tailored blazers who kept squinting at her chalkboard menu like it was written in a foreign language. She didn't mind. Money was money. "Can I get a grilled cheese and a black coffee?" She didn't look up. She was already building the sandwich. Sourdough aged cheddar, a thin spread of whole grain mustard the way she always did it. "Coming right up," she said, sliding the coffee across the counter. A pause, then quietly, almost too quietly for the noise of the city. A voice said, "Still remember me?" Maya froze. Her hand stopped on the spatula. She knew that voice the way you know the smell of rain before it hits the pavement. Before she even turned around, something in her chest cracked open like an old wound that had never fully sealed. She turned. Standing at her window in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her truck was Daniel Hull. Same jaw, same dark eyes, older now, sharper, like life had carved him into something harder and more expensive. His hair was different, his watch was different. Everything about him screamed power and distance. But his eyes were the same ones that had sat across from her in a diner booth in rural Ohio 12 years ago when they were both 22 and completely broke and completely sure that love was enough to survive on. "Daniel," she said. It came out like a breath she'd been holding for a decade. He wasn't supposed to be real anymore. She had turned him into a memory filed neatly under things that didn't work out. Somewhere between her mother's death and her decision to leave Ohio and start over in New York with $400 and a recipe book. "You're good," he said, nodding at the truck. "This is really good, Maya." She blinked. "You came to my food truck." "I was at the conference. The whole city has restaurants." "I know." "Boss. I looked you up." "I'm a blue tie," cleared his throat. Maya handed Daniel his sandwich without thinking and watched him step aside, not leaving, just stepping out of line, leaning against the side of her truck like he had all the time in the world. Like he wasn't Daniel Holt, CEO of Hull Industries, worth somewhere north of $3 billion according to every magazine cover she'd accidentally seen at the grocery store checkout. She served the next 4 customers on autopilot. When the rush slowed, she stepped out of the truck. He was still there. "You didn't have to wait," she said. "I know." They stood in awkward silence for 3 seconds, which when you share 12-year-old heartbreak with someone feels like a very long time. "Why did you look me up?" she asked. Daniel looked down at his coffee cup. "Because I've driven past 300 food trucks in this city over the last 2 years and none of them were yours. And then last month I was stuck in traffic on 47th, and I saw the sunflower on your menu board." Maya's throat tightened. "Lily drew that," she whispered. "I know. I remembered." She looked away. Down the block a cab honked. The city kept moving, indifferent and loud, the way New York always was. Like your entire emotional history was just background noise to someone else's commute. "She's okay," Maya said quietly. "Lily, after the accident, she walks with a cane now, but she's okay. She's in college." "I heard," he said. "I'm glad. How did you?" She stopped. "You kept track of me." It wasn't a question. Daniel didn't deny it. "Not in a weird way, just I never fully let go of wondering if you were all right." Here was the thing about Maya Collins that nobody at that food truck window ever knew. She had been accepted to culinary school in Paris at 23. Full scholarship. The same month, Daniel's startup got its first major investment, the one that required him to relocate to San Francisco, build a team, disappear into the machine of ambition that eventually turned him into the man standing in front of her now. They had been at a crossroads and neither of them had known how to say, "Come with me," without it sounding like an ultimatum. So they had said nothing, and then they had said goodbye, and then they had each built entirely separate, entirely successful, entirely lonely versions of their futures. I didn't go to Paris, she said suddenly. I know. I stayed for Lily, and then Mom got sick, and then she gestured at the truck. Do you regret it? She thought about it honestly. The real answer, not the polished one she gave people at farmers' markets when they asked about her journey. No, she said, this is mine. I built this. Every dent and every dollar. He looked at her, really looked at her, and something in his expression shifted, like a man who had spent years collecting expensive things suddenly understanding what he'd traded away. I have a proposal, he said. She raised an eyebrow. Already a business one. He almost smiled. Whole Industries is launching a new employee campus in Brooklyn. Full facility, gym, wellness center, and a food hall. I want real food in it, not corporate catering. I've been looking for the right partner for 8 months. Maya stared at him. You want golden crust? I want the person who makes it what it is. That's a big jump from a food truck window, Daniel. You've always been bigger than this window, Maya. You just never needed anyone to tell you that. She didn't say yes that day. She thought about it for 2 weeks. He called her sister. She called her business-savvy friend, Ro, who screamed for 30 seconds straight and then said, sign it. She read the contract twice and had a lawyer look at it once. And on a Thursday morning in the same Midtown block where her truck had lived for 4 years, she signed. Not because of who Daniel was, not because of who they used to be, but because she had earned this. Every hard morning, every cold winter, every customer who left a generous tip, and everyone who didn't. The sunflower on her menu board, the dent on the left side. All of it had been building toward a moment where someone finally offered her a door that matched the size of her dreams. He took it. Golden Crust Brooklyn opened 8 months later. The line on opening day stretched around the block. Maya stood at the window, her window, and smiled.